If there's one thing everybody loves, it's a big bowl of cereal. It's the ultimate inconvenience when you need a convenient meal, it tastes amazing, and it takes us back to our childhood. But if you're trying to lose weight, up until recently, having a big bowl of cereal was definitely not a great option because most of the cereals out there are extremely high in carbohydrate and sugar and painfully low in protein, which means that enjoying that little taste of your childhood usually means a huge setback when it comes to your weight loss goals. But things are changing, and there are now a handful of great low-calorie, low-carb, low-sugar, and surprisingly high-protein options out there on the market that finally make it possible to scratch that cereal itch anytime you want to, while also getting amazing results in your weight loss journey. So in today's video, I'm going to break down some of the best and most popular options on the market, compare them to each other and to many of the old school cereals that they're trying to emulate. And at the end, I'll share which brands and cereals I think are the best for long-term sustainable weight loss. We've got a lot to cover, so let's get into it. First things first, before we get into the cereals themselves, let's talk about what actually would make a great cereal option for weight loss versus an option that might set us back. And this is going to basically come down to three things. The calorie content, when we portion it out to a nice sized big bowl that we can enjoy, the carbohydrate and sugar content, and the protein content. Now, obviously, calories matter the most since weight loss is a calories in, calories out game at the end of the day. So if a cereal's calorie content is too high, then when we portion it out into a big enough bowl to fill us up and satisfy us, the calories will be too high to get great results when we factor in the food that we're gonna eat for the rest of the day. The carbohydrate content is also super important for a couple of reasons. Number one, the carbohydrate is a fuel source that is primarily used for more intense activity like strength training and higher intensity cardio, in addition to fueling our brains. And since most people in the world who are really trying to lose weight and to improve their health are not yet being super active and they're not doing a ton of intense lifting in the gym or running a lot, we don't really need a ton of sugar and carbohydrate. So we want to keep that as low as possible for most people to get the best results. The second reason that carbohydrate content is really important is because there's a lot of you out there who are not only struggling with weight loss, but you're also struggling with blood sugar regulation and may have been diagnosed with prediabetes or full-blown type 2 diabetes. So if we can have a great cereal option that not only fills us up and tastes amazing, but also has really low carbohydrate content, then we can scratch that cereal itch while losing weight and while lowering our blood sugar and our A1C numbers, which is pretty amazing. And last but certainly not least, after calories and after carbohydrate content is the protein content. Protein content is incredibly important for a lot of reasons. Number one, it's extremely filling and satiating. Number two, your body needs it to build and maintain muscle mass while you lose body fat. And three, protein is also the hardest macronutrient for your body to convert and store as body fat. When you eat protein, it has to be converted from protein into carbohydrate and then from carbohydrate into fat before it can then be stored as fat in your body. So when it comes to a quality cereal for weight loss, the higher the protein, the better. Okay, so we've established the three most important things that will determine if a cereal is going to be ideal for weight loss or not: the calorie content, the carbohydrate and sugar content, and the protein content for a sizable and satisfying bowl. For most people trying to lose weight, a great benchmark would be to have a large bowl of cereal that is around 400 calories or less for the bowl and the milk together. And we want carbohydrate content to be as low as possible, with protein content being as high as possible, ideally making up at least 40% of the calories from the bowl of cereal. For those of you tracking calories and macros out there, having 40% of your daily calories coming from protein is a very common and widely accepted protein goal for both weight loss and long-term health. So if we can have a giant bowl of cereal that hits that mark or even higher and tastes great, then we're in business. So the question is, are there any cereals out there on the market that can actually achieve this goal and still taste great at the same time? Well, as it turns out, there are. And in this video, I'm going to show you 7 different cereals across 6 different brands that come in at around 400 calories or less and at least 40% protein per bowl, the highest of which comes in at a whopping 52% protein with a good high protein milk. Speaking of milk, every good high protein cereal is made even better when paired with a great high quality, high protein, and low calorie milk. In today's video, every single cereal has been paired with Fairlife brand ultra filtered fat-free milk. It's available at Walmart, which makes it easy for most people to get their hands on, and with 13 grams of protein and only 80 calories per 8-ounce serving, this milk comes in at a whopping 68% protein. And if you happen to have a Kroger store nearby, you might just be able to get your hands on my absolute favorite high protein milk ever, which is the Kroger Carb Master fat-free ultra filtered milk. They actually have a vanilla and a chocolate version as well. The vanilla is my absolute favorite. It comes in at 11 grams of protein, only 60 calories per 8-ounce serving, so lower calorie than the Fairlife milk, which brings it in at an amazing 79% protein for this milk. And since it is sweetened and flavored, it makes the absolute best pairing with a high protein cereal. But again, for today's purposes, since the Fairlife is the most accessible milk for everybody, being at Walmart, we're going to use this one in our tests today. All right, we've already wasted enough time. Let's get into the cereal lineup. And to make comparing these cereals really fair across the board, we're going to be comparing bowls with 2 cups of dry cereal paired with 8 ounces of the Fairlife ultra-filtered fat-free milk. First up on the list of high-protein cereals that made the cut is one that you may have heard of before, and that is Magic Spoon cereal. It comes in a few different flavors, but for this video, I purchased the cocoa flavor, which also happens to be gluten-free as well, which is a huge win for anyone with a gluten intolerance. A nice bowl with 2 cups of Magic Spoon cereal and 8 ounces of our Fairlife fat-free milk comes in at only 360 calories and a very respectable 43% protein. In total, it has 39 grams of protein and only 8 grams of net carbohydrate, which makes this cereal a great option for those wanting to err on the side of lower carbohydrates in their diet while also staying gluten-free. Next up on the list is a cereal that's meant to be a much healthier alternative to Lucky Charms, and that is the Marshmallows cereal from Ghost. In fact, if you read the label on the side of the box, you will see that this cereal actually has authentic, real Lucky Charms marshmallows in it. For a bowl of 2 cups of this dry cereal with 8 ounces of our fat-free milk, it comes in at only 354 calories and a very nice 46% protein. All in, we have 40.4 grams of protein, but the net carbohydrate content is a little bit higher in this cereal, as this one has 30.1 grams of net carbohydrate, which is probably because of those darn authentic Lucky Charms marshmallows. Either way, this cereal is one of the best tasting cereals on the list, hands down. And since it meets our calorie and protein standards for a bowl, it's a winner. Especially when you compare it to the old school Lucky Charms, which by comparison for an equivalent sized bowl of real Lucky Charms cereal, which only comes in at 360 calories, so it's not too bad there, but the problem is it's only 21% protein. It only has 19 grams of protein compared to the 40 in the Ghost, and it comes in at a whopping 64 grams of carbohydrate, which is pretty insane by comparison. Next up is another cereal from Ghost brand, which is their peanut butter flavored cereal. Now this one tastes like an almost identical replacement for peanut butter Captain Crunch, which was my favorite childhood cereal. It does push the calorie envelope a little bit, coming in at 420 calories for a bowl with 2 cups of dry cereal and 8 ounces of our fat-free milk. But it comes in at 47% protein with a very respectable 49 grams of protein between the bowl of cereal and the milk, and only 29 grams of net carbohydrate. For comparison's sake, the old school peanut butter Captain Crunch comes in at the same 420 calories for a comparably sized bowl, but instead it only has 19 grams of protein and it has 62 grams of net carbohydrate. So less than half the protein, but more than twice the carbohydrate when compared to the Ghost cereal. So given that the Ghost cereal tastes just as good, I would pick the Ghost cereal any day of the week, and sometimes I pick it twice a day. The next option on the list is the Premier Protein brand chocolate almond cereal. Now they also have a mixed berry version of this cereal, which is also very tasty. Okay, this cereal comes in at 440 calories per bowl for 2 cups of dry cereal with 8 ounces of our Fairlife milk. So it's pushing that calorie envelope just a little bit, but it also has the highest total grams of protein of all of the options in today's video at 54 grams of protein and about 32 grams of net carbohydrate. So very comparable to the Ghost cereal, but higher in protein. The extra fat calories from the almonds in the cereal probably are what are kicking that total calorie content up a bit and bringing the overall protein percentage back down. So overall, this one comes in at 48% protein, which is still really good. Looking at the nutrition label on the Premier cereal, it is very obvious that they made this cereal to compete with the Kellogg's brand Special K high protein cereal, which comes in at 560 calories and 38% protein for a comparably sized bowl. It has the same 53 grams of protein that the Premier cereal has, but it has 56 grams of net carbohydrate, making the Kellogg's cereal for most people a lot worse when it comes to weight loss and carbohydrate management. The next 3 cereals on our list represent the options with the lowest net carbohydrate by far, starting with the WonderWorks brand peanut butter cereal. This one is also a direct competitor to the old school peanut butter Captain Crunch. It comes in at the same 420 calories as the Captain Crunch and the Ghost cereals, but this one wins in protein and net carbohydrate content. It's 49% protein with 51 grams of protein for your bowl and your milk and only 2 grams of net carbohydrate, making it by far the leanest and lowest carbohydrate option on the list. The Ghost brand has a slight edge on taste, but this one wins out if you're really paying attention to keeping your carbohydrate intake down. The next option actually comes from Kellogg's brand, and that is their Special K Zero cereal. This is a cinnamon puff flavored cereal. It's actually one of my favorites on the entire list because it tastes great and it comes in at a very low 380 calories and 52% protein overall for the same 2 cups of dry cereal and 8 ounces of Fairlife fat-free milk. With 49 grams of protein and only 4 grams of net carbohydrate, this is another very, very lean cereal. So great for you out there who are really trying to manage your carbohydrates to deal with prediabetes or diabetes. And last but certainly not least, we have Eat Your Mouth Off brand cereal. For this video, we tested their Cocoa cereal, and it's a pretty impressive alternative to something like Kellogg's Cocoa Krispies. A bowl with 2 cups of dry cereal and 8 ounces of our fat-free milk comes in at 368 calories and 52% protein. It has a total of 48 grams of protein and only 4 grams of net carbohydrate, which makes this cereal another very lean option if you really want to watch your carbohydrate intake. They also have a fruity version, which is very much like Fruity Pebbles. All right, so you've seen all the cereals. Now it's time to name the winners in my book, including which brand I think tastes the best, which brand I think wins for overall protein and carbohydrate content, and which one is the best blend of taste and nutrition. And real quick before we name the winners, if you found this valuable and you haven't yet subscribed to the channel, I'd love if you would hit the subscribe button and the like button so YouTube knows that we're doing good work over here. All right, so winning hands down in my book for taste is definitely going to be the Ghost brand cereals. Both of these flavors, the marshmallows and the peanut butter, both tie for absolute best tasting high protein cereals that I have found to date. Yes, they do have a slightly higher carbohydrate content than some of the other healthier cereals on this list, but compared to their old school counterparts, they're still far healthier alternatives, and the carbohydrate content is not bad by any means. Now, winning for best overall nutrition is going to be the Eat Your Mouth Off brand cereal. It has the best combination of low calories coming in at 368 calories per bowl and high protein at 52% protein and extremely low carbohydrate content at only 4 grams of net carbohydrate. I do really like the taste of this cereal as well, but it's not my favorite, which means it can't be the overall winner just yet. Winning the most balanced award for combining great flavor with very well-balanced nutrition for me is the WonderWorks brand peanut butter cereal. Now they also have other flavors of this cereal that are very similar in nutrition. And while it is one of the higher calorie options, coming in at 420 calories per bowl, the flavor is great. And you just can't argue with 51 grams of protein for a bowl of 2 cups of cereal and 8 ounces of milk and only 2 grams of net carbohydrate. So if you want the absolute best blend of flavor and protein and carbohydrate content, this is the one that you're going to go with. Let me know in the comments below what your favorite cereal was as a child and which one of these that you're excited to try first. And if you'd like to explore some other very low carb, high protein products that can really level up the enjoyability of your everyday healthy meals and snacks, I recommend you check out this video that I did on 10 high protein foods that will change your life. And once again, go ahead and subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you next time.